Hi, this is Brad Constantine, and this is a podcast recording of the Old Testament. Although this is not an official recording of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, every effort's been made to be as doctrinally accurate as possible. I'll be using for the text the Joseph Smith translation of the Old Testament, along with many commentaries from general authorities of the Church, BYU professors, Bible scholars, and others. This format will be very detailed, and so if you want a deep analysis of the Old Testament, you come to the right place. Thanks for your attendance. Welcome back to the Old Testament podcast. This will be for Leviticus chapter 5. We're getting into all these sacrifices. Aren't you excited? Yes. Verse 1, And if a soul sin and hear the voice of swearing, an oath or curse, and is a witness, whether he hath seen or known of it, if he do not utter it, then he shall bear his iniquity. These verses are a continuation of the requirements for a sin offering. The sins specified here as needing expiation are those of omission, failure to report a crime one has witnessed, oversight, unconscious defilement, and rashness, thoughtless oath-making. Though referred to as trespass offerings, this sacrifice should not be confused with the trespass offering proper discussed in Leviticus 5. The trespass offering here is to atone for those acts which came under the sin offering, ignorance, minor offenses, and ceremonial uncleanliness. And that was out of the Institute Manual. Verse 2, Or if a soul touch any unclean thing, whether it be a carcass of an unclean beast, or a carcass of unclean cattle, or the carcass of unclean creeping things, and if it be hidden from him, he also shall be unclean and guilty. Now remember the parable of the Good Samaritan, where the priests wouldn't touch the Good Samaritan because they thought he was dead? This is where they got that from, in touching any unclean thing. Verse 3, Or if he touch the uncleanness of man, whatsoever uncleanness it be, that a man shall be defiled withal, and it be hid from him, then he knoweth of it, then he shall be guilty. Or if a soul swear, pronouncing with his lips to do evil or to do good, whatsoever it be, that a man shall pronounce with an oath, and it be hid from him, that when he knoweth it, then he shall be guilty in one of these. And it shall be, when he shall be guilty in one of these things, that he shall confess that he hath sinned or in that thing. And he shall bring his trespass offering, or guilt sacrifice unto the Lord for his sin, which he hath sinned, a female from the flock, a lamb or a kid of the goats, for a sin offering, and the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his sin. And if he be not able to bring a lamb, then he shall bring for his trespass which he hath committed 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons unto the Lord, one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering. And he shall bring them unto the priest, who shall offer that which is for the sin offering first, and wring off his head from his neck, but shall not divide it asunder. And he shall sprinkle of the blood of the sin offering upon the side of the altar, and the rest of the blood shall be wrung out at the bottom of the altar. It is a sin offering. And he shall offer the second for a burnt offering according to the manner, or the statute, Hebrew statute, and the priest shall make an atonement for him for his sin which he hath sinned, and it shall be forgiven him. But if he be not able to bring 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, then he that sinned shall bring for his offering the 10th part of an ephod of fine flour for a sin offering. He shall put no oil upon it, neither shall he put any frankincense thereon, for it is a sin offering. Then shall he bring it to the priest, and the priest shall take his handful of it, even a memorial thereof, and burn it on the altar, according to the offerings made by fire unto the Lord. It is a sin offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him as touching his sin, that he hath sinned in one of these, and it shall be forgiven him, and the remnant shall be the priest's as a meat offering. That is the evening sacrifice. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, If a soul commit a trespass, and sin through ignorance in the holy things of the Lord, then he shall bring for his trespass unto the Lord a ram without blemish out of the flocks, with thy estimation by shekels of silver, or that is, by your valuation in weights of silver, after the shekel of the sanctuary, for a trespass offering. And he shall make amends for the harm that he hath done in the holy thing, and shall add the 5th part thereto, and give it unto the priest, and the priest shall make an atonement for him with the ram of the trespass offering, and it shall be forgiven him. In the case of sin, that is, our sinful nature, where no actual robbery or wrong had been committed against anyone, justice would be fully satisfied by the death and suffering of the sinner. But the mere suffering and death of the sinner would not make satisfaction for the wrong of trespass, for the victim merely to die for trespass would leave the injured party a loser still. The trespasser indeed might be punished, but the wrong and injury would still remain. The trespasser's death would not repair the trespass, nor restore those rights which another had been robbed of. Another would have been robbed of. Yet till this was done, atonement or satisfaction could scarcely be considered perfect. Accordingly, to make satisfaction in the trespass offering, there is not only judgment on the victim, but restitution also. The right of which another had been defrauded is satisfied, the wrong fully repaid. That was by Jukes in the Law of the Offerings. Verse 17. And if a soul sin and commit any of these things which are forbidden to be done by the commandments of the Lord, though he wist it not or knew it not, yet is he guilty and shall bear his iniquity. And he shall bring a ram without blemish out of the flock, and thy estimation for a trespass offering, unto the priest, and the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his ignorance, wherein he erred and knew it not or wist it not, and it shall be forgiven him. It is a trespass offering. He hath certainly trespassed against the Lord. As you think about the Nephites, that seems like they offered a lot of sacrifices. You wonder which of the sacrifices they performed. Doesn't really say. It just mentions that they offered sacrifices. The Book of Mormon prophets taught that those who have not been born of the Spirit or changed from their carnal and fallen state are in rebellion against God and indeed are an enemy to God. This fallen or sinful nature, termed the natural man, is a serious state. This natural man must be considered in an attempt to distinguish between the sin offering and the trespass offering. With our short-sightedness, our inability to see beyond the surface, we naturally look at what man does rather than at what he is, and while we are willing to allow that he does evil, we perhaps scarcely think that he is evil. But God judges what we are as well as what we do, our sin, the sin in us, as much as our trespasses. In his sight, sin in us, our evil nature, is as clearly seen as our trespasses, which are but the fruit of that nature. Now the distinction between the sin and trespass offerings is just this. The one is for sin in our nature, i.e. the natural man, the other for the fruits of it. And a careful examination of the particulars of the offerings is all that is needed to make this manifest. Thus, in the sin offering, no particular act of sin is mentioned, but a certain person is seen standing confessedly as a sinner in the trespass offering. Certain acts are enumerated, and the person never appears. In the sin offering, I see a person who needs atonement, offering an oblation for himself as a sinner. In the trespass offering, I see certain acts which need atonement, and the offering offered for these particular offenses. Again, that was by Jukes. Anyway, that's the end of the chapter in Leviticus, chapter 5, and we'll see you next time. Bye.